Welcome, guys, to Public Diversion. My name is Chris. That guy down there, the bald guy, that's Ben. And then that other guy with that luscious beard, because I can't grow one, that's Trevor. You don't even need to pay attention to him today. It's all right. Just listen to me and Ben. But anyway, on this podcast, we talk about life, we talk about sports, we talk about the greatest, latest TV shows and movies that are out there. So if you like topics like that, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe because we got content for you every week. Every week we got some new stuff. So last week, I want to start off with this because Ben promised he was going to watch. You promised you were going to watch King Kong. So I don't want to because I'm going to forget. If I don't ask you now, I know I'm going to forget. Did you watch it?
I did watch it.
Okay.
And boy, I wish I could have those 2.5 hours back.
Exactly. See, Trevor was way wrong. Wrong.
If you listen to what I said was it's the best one ever made.
No, that's even wrong in itself.
What is? Which Godzilla or Kong?
I told you the one that came out in 2014. That one was pretty good story. And then the one from like 96 or whatever, got the Godzilla baby.
Exactly. You said the Matthew Broderick one was. That's horrible.
No. Dude, so Ben, let me hear what your thoughts, because we spoke a little bit last week.
Oh, so the story was kind of like, why are these two fighting for any reason at all? Kind of just seemed like they were kind of just forcing this fight to come out of nowhere. Yeah, they're two alphas, blah, 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 whatever. I did enjoy the fight scenes between the two. One where they fought in the ocean, which was pretty unfair for King Kong, and even the city battle to a certain degree was pretty good. But everything in between there, the story that just to get you to that point, the heroes, the human heroes, the human villains, they were just, I don't know if it was just the acting or the story. I just didn't care about any of them. I didn't care about Eleven from Stranger Things or the little girl from the island that loves King Kong. I just wanted to see the two fight.
Okay.
Go at it.
Here's my gripe with you. The fact that you don't even know why they were fighting when they established it early on that Godzilla was triggered by that
monster. They're creating the fake Godzilla, the technical Godzilla, yeah.
The mecha. Yeah. Well, it was going off with a signal, so it knew some power source, a large power source was there. So it was Godzilla was only triggered and drawn towards a power source. King Kong happened to be there, but it was only triggered when they would
but what Ben's saying is like the whole thing that it was just power hungry, which is true because the whole Godzilla was triggered because they said that you could only have one alpha, and so Godzilla was supposed to be that alpha. So it is kind of what like Ben is saying, how it was just like a freaking who has the biggest schlong kind of battle.
Exactly. It was,
Yes, it's a monster film. What did you want?
But that's what it is. No, but I want to see establish a villain, establish a hero.
They did.
It's like watching a old school wrestling match when Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior fought each other.
But they established
everybody got so excited for it, and then it was a huge freaking letdown at the end.
They established
give me a story.
They established intention. You knew what was a trigger for all of them, and you couldn't feel for King Kong. You have no heart. It was easy to root for him because it's like he just wants to be left alone.
Because he got his ass beat.
Now, which is crazy because you like Incredible Hulk.
No, but that's a way different thing between him and King
premise. Kong. It's with King Kong. It's always been the same premise. He just wants to be left alone.
But the thing is, what's interesting is it made it seem so now King Kong goes back to Middle Earth because he wants to go home, right? So he wants to go home. And then he gets home, and then it's kind of like in his home, he has no family still. He sits on an empty throne with no species around except for like the other random animals that they put in there.
It's an entire world. He didn't go over all of it. But if you notice too, he finally got to rest right when he sat down. He's like, ugh. and then Godzilla shoots through the thing. He's like, ah, shit,
He
here we go.
he was sleeping in the beginning of the film. The beginning of the film is
No, he
literally him
wasn't.
sleeping. He was sleeping in the beginning of the
He
film.
wanted to leave that place. He didn't
It
want
was-
to be there in that
but he
dome.
did sleep. But
He was in a
did sleep.
cage.
But he slept.
Probably
Slept.
because they drugged him. He
Hey, that's a
slept.
good sleep. Then he had a good sleep.
I
He had
want
a
you to wake up
fantastic
and
sleep.
realize you're stuck in your apartment. See how you act.
I think they could have did a better job with the story, but
But it's the best one they've done so far. That's all I'm saying. Because you can't. The other ones were so weak. It was bad.
Nah, I disagree.
well, I was reading some. I didn't read the whole article. I guess maybe I should read it. But they were saying something that they set up for another one, but I don't see where they go from here
With this same story, same.
Because you guys
I
don't
don't-
know
I
the
don't know.
universe. That's why I actually watched some of the old films to see what monsters still exist, and they always put Easter eggs. They're heavy with it. They have like websites dedicated to each company in the Apex and Monarch and whatnot. But there's more monsters in that are still asleep.
Yeah.
They've just been sleeping.
But if they do another one like King Kong versus the or Godzilla versus the monsters, which was terrible, like I'm gonna hate it. Even the fight scenes in that one were terrible. The fight scenes in this one, I think they were better because they actually made it more human-like. You know what I mean? Like the battles was more human-like. Like Godzilla had characteristics of it.
I mean,
Huh?
but look at who you had. The fight was with something that's the closest thing to a human they're gonna get.
No, but I mean, like I feel like they did a proper dichotomy of like because Godzilla to me seemed like alligator-esque, to where like his moves were based off of literally like his tail and the biting. You know what I mean? And they did a great job in the fight scenes of making sure that, you know, because in real life, I would think somebody with hands and full appendages could, like, you know, finagle more when somebody can only bite. But you know, they really, I feel like they really did the fight scene well. That was my favorite part of
They
that
did.
film.
They did.
Yeah.
Let me see if you guys can answer this question because I couldn't figure this out. Why did the guy that was in the mechanical Godzilla like become a whatever?
An Asian dude?
He lost control.
Oh, that's a power. It was the power surge.
Yeah.
And they were, and he wasn't able to handle it because I don't know if you know this. The not Mothra, the big one in the last one. The
three-headed one.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he's called.
Was telepathic with its other heads because the necks are so long that it used a different power to communicate with all the other heads. So they used two of the skulls, one where he was trying to like he had the headset on, and the other one was in that Mecha Godzilla, and that's how he was able to telepathically tell it what to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And his little human brain couldn't handle that power surge when they got the power source, so it blew his shit out.
I will say I did like, and I can't think of his name. He's also in Atlanta. Do you guys watch Atlanta, or did you watch Atlanta, the show? The black guy who was supposed to play the what's his name?
I don't know.
Oh, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. I haven't seen him in a role like this before, so it was kind of pretty funny because he plays a very, like, when he's serious, he's a very good actor. So to see him in this, and he actually came from a theater background, which I never knew before. But like I thought that was a little different, but overall, nah.
But how'd you like that when they did what they usually do? They always get a chubby person and make a comedic role, because they used him and they used that other kid who was on Deadpool.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, that's where he's from. I was trying to remember where he's from.
Yeah, he's in Deadpool. No,
I can't remember where he's
Spider-Man. Isn't that the Spider-Man for that kid?
No. That's another guy. He's a Filipino kid, I believe.
Yeah.
The one from Spider-Man.
Oh, I'm getting them mixed up. Not all fat guys look alike, so you know I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Sounds like you're saying that.
No, round is a shape. It's a beautiful shape, so I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Oh,
thank you.
Trying to get us canceled already?
No, not even.
Hey, as the fat guy of the show, I accept those comments.
No, not even. But what about? All right, so that came out, and we both watched that, and we all watched Falcon Winter Soldier. We all watched Falcon Winter Soldier. So Trevor, you want to give me some things that you noticed, because I know I know that you noticed more than I do, but I got my notes. I got my notes too. I got my notes here to kind of counteract with the wrong statements that you're gonna make. You know?
Well, starting from the beginning, it kind of told you where this was gonna go. If you noticed,
You were right on that. You were right on that.
huh? Which part?
From the last episode, how like you were saying how you were saying the dynamic of how I think it was you or Ben. You guys were like, oh, they're probably only going to give him like a certain amount of time before they're already gonna
The Wakandans.
Yeah, the Wakandans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like and so that was pretty. I think that was probably within the first 3 minutes. She said,
Yeah.
15. I think she said I can't remember the time.
8 hours.
8 hours.
That's why, because if they snatched him up, then that's a whole nother dilemma, and it's not easy to take anyone away from them. So
Yeah.
that veers from the path of the whole story. So obviously they couldn't do that. But what I was gonna say is the title scene where it showed the Falcon and Winter Soldier, how it gradually opened up and showed the words, like kind of like the bomb, like the fuse, and how it's like everything. That's what I saw when I first saw it. I was like, oh shit.
Well, just in the title alone, when I saw what the title was, I was like, something's gonna happen.
Oh yeah. But then it was kind of cool how we got a little more backstory and the background between that second in command for the Dora Milaje and the Winter Soldier, and that was extremely emotional. I didn't know it was gonna hit like it did. Where I started to get, you felt it, his tears. Like he looked at her, like, "Are you sure? Like I'm free."
Yeah,
like that was beautiful. That made me like him that much more, and I don't want him. I want you to be.
You don't want Ben's story. You don't want Ben's story.
You don't want my ending no more. No. Yeah, I mean, it reminded me of a dog being adopted. Pretty much, like, really, I'm free. You're gonna be my family.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it's like, and literally when I saw that scene, and I get, like, I know that I would be traumatized, and I'm a softie, but at the same time, those actions were truly not his own. Like, it was no excuse. They were truly not my own. So if like somebody legitimately, I could consider, like, if somebody grabbed my hand, and literally pulled the trigger to kill somebody, I would feel terrible. But at the end of the day, I know that it wasn't me. Like, so.
But you have to live with all those actions, and you remember all of them.
Yeah.
But he's going further. He's going actually into retribution. Like, it's not just like feeling sad. He's actually trying to like fix the problems. So that's a whole nother level.
It's literally haunting him.
Yeah.
So I really like that. But that talk that he had with her, I'm like, it seems like an ongoing theme, because they're all saying the ends to a means
to an end. Yeah.
That's very Machiavellian, and they're all saying it. It's like, it seems like that's the show in its entirety, because that's exactly what what's his name, John Walker, how he's
means to an end.
Yeah, so that's exactly how he's acting. That's how the government has always acted. The GRC's acting the same way, Flag Smasher and whatnot. So it's kind of cool that
it's all kind of, everybody is doing the same thing. Everybody has a means to an end, kind of.
Yeah.
That was even the conversation. That freaking Falcon had with I keep forgetting her name. The Flag Smasher leader.
Yeah. Was it Kelly?
No, it's not Kelly. It's. Oh my gosh. We're all bad. We're all bad.
Oh yeah.
Carly.
Carly.
Like, he had that conversation with her, like, but we'll get into that. But yeah.
Yeah. No, but his mentality is a little different, and it seems like he's more Captain America than all of them.
Oh, for sure.
He's
good
and wants to do good.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to do bad things to get great results, and help everybody.
Yeah.
And then was it? I've been watching so much of this stuff. I think they had the GRC commercial, right? No?
They had the commercial. Yeah.
Reset, Restore, Rebuild.
Oh yes. Yeah. Yes.
Which is very interesting on what they meant by that, and you see, like, what were they resetting? Why would you have to reset
Well,
Like,
I mean, society. It's not easy to integrate all of a sudden. Like I don't know how many million people. Like
Yeah,
it is a
half the
reset.
population coming back
Yeah,
to life.
you know, it's a ginormous reset.
but I know they want to make it seem like it's a good thing. But if you look at how negative that is, because people were after 5 years, they found homes, they found all this stuff, and then everything blips back, and they kicked these people out, and they have nowhere to go. So there's like tons of refugees all over the world now, and the
Correct.
GRC don't give two shits about any of them.
Well, I don't think that's the case. I think, because in my mind, you know, and I know that there's corrupt politicians everywhere, but like in a way, you know, the government, or in that instance, is trying to do the best that they can with the situation that they're given. Like, you know, they have to do something. You know, well, what could they have done better? Say you were the freaking president or whatever. Like, what would you have done? You know?
Well, they're gonna do what's in the best interest of the people that have the money. So the only ones who are really suffering, just like nowadays, are the poor people. So it wasn't like this infrastructure to get go will benefit someone and help someone who's less fortunate. But if someone less fortunate was able to get a little something in those 5 years and it was all taken away, and then what?
Yeah.
You're gonna have beyond desperation.
Yeah.
So I kind of relate to like what's going on with the flag smashers completely.
Yeah.
Well, that you could kind of see that in this episode too, with how the Falcon's acting, because he agreed with her multiple times. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, but yeah. Well, we're gonna get to that, but yeah. That was to be honest, and we'll get to it. But I do think that was my favorite part of the episode. That one-on-one talk.
Yes,
Like,
definitely.
well, actually, no, my second favorite. I take it back.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Zemo, when he was going to talk to those kids, and first to talk about the Turkish delight.
Yeah.
I had to do research on what that actually was. First of all, it's not so delightful. I heard in reality, it's not. That candy kind of tastes nasty, but I'm pretty sure if you're
For refugee kids, like
yeah, and if you have too much of it, guess what? Diarrhea.
Really? Is it really?
Well, what is it? What is it? Like a Jolly Rancher, or is it like a taffy? What is it supposed to be?
I forgot. I had the list. I had it up, but I'm using the laptop. But it's a random. It could be made different ways, but I just heard it's not that tasty of a candy treat for usually children.
Do you think he was lying about the story for himself for the candy? Because he had a backstory with that candy with himself. Do you think he legitimately liked it? No,
he didn't like it. He said his kid liked it.
Yeah, his son liked it. His son liked it. But like, what I mean is like, because again, like everything is mastermindish for him. So, do you think he already knew in advance that when he would go to this place, he was going to use it?
No, but he knew.
I think so.
You think so?
I knew he could use it to his advantage because kids are kids, and it doesn't take much to bribe a kid. So he has money.
Well, that's one thing I actually really like. I don't want to say hate, but I really disliked about that scene because Zemo is supposed to be this hyper intelligent being. Like he's just very, you know, he's very wise and cunning and all that. I feel like so far in this season, they've diminished his intelligence with like how he got out of prison. It was too easy. And to me, it's like, okay, so you have two ways of getting information. One way, you just go busting in doors like, oh, hey, do you know freaking whatever her name is, Maria, whatever? Do you like? Oh, do you know her? As if when can any superhero bust into an enemy camp and just start asking for names and think you're gonna get information? So that's what I feel like, you know, Falcon and Winter Soldier was doing, and then Zemo, he just asked some kids. That to me isn't like smart. They could have just planned that so much better, in my opinion. They could have made him seem so much smarter.
Yeah, I
disagree on the aspects of that. You've watched Sam and Bucky try to get information from adults, and nobody was saying anything. But
why would they even try that route? How is that a smart way about things? Who does that?
Because they're just trying to figure out where this lady's having her funeral. But Zemo knew that if I take these candies to these kids, they're gonna tell me.
Yeah, and he didn't go up. He didn't ask immediately either. It was like,
yeah,
how would you do to any kid to gradually get their trust first? And then it's like, brought him
get
after
it.
the company.
I get it, but I'm not saying what he did wasn't smart. I'm saying what Bucky and Sam did was stupid, and that makes what
yeah. Oh, you said Zemo. You said what Zemo did.
but I'm saying as a result, because the only dichotomy to like what he did is the other route is if you just go banging in doors and asking adults like straight up for information. You don't even try to. They didn't even try to get the information in clever ways. They literally just went. You're in an enemy camp that you know is an enemy camp. Like nobody goes in Afghanistan. Was asking where's Saddam.
No.
Oh, hey, you guys know where Saddam is? Who the hell would do that? You got to start a conversation. You got to start a conversation and then get it out. So it's like you just make Zemo seem like he's just a little bit smarter. When I think he's that much smarter. I think he's like not just he's smarter. I feel like me and you and us three, if we went into something like that, we would probably think to ourselves, hey, let's probably try to get the kids first. Like that's a normal thing we would have thought of. It's not something that a genius would think of.
Hell no. We walking up to little kids. We might be in trouble because adults, wherever the parents are, you could get in trouble fast. So you better watch out.
I don't know.
Second of all, I don't think you were even understanding the whole situation in its entirety. Were you even listening to the songs he was singing?
I was. They were kind of creepy. He was freaking singing creepy songs.
No, but
the Baba Black Sheep song.
Yeah.
There's always intent. He always has intent. He's that smart. He sits back and he lets things play out, and then he acts accordingly. Like he's that intelligent, and he would tell that information knowing he wouldn't get thrown off to the wolves with Dora Milaje, where they would need to keep him around a little longer. That's why he was holding on to that. But I'm pretty sure he has a couple other things lined up that we don't even know about yet.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
But everything that he does has extreme intent.
Yeah.
Extreme. Like he smashed all that, but we don't even know. Like maybe he kept one. Maybe I know he wouldn't want to, but
I think that same thing. I think I agree with you 100% when we get there.
I don't think so. Well, yeah, let's get that.
It just So Turkish Delight, the whole catching, he even went another way and just sat around waiting, knowing that things might come his way. And then Carly runs it. Carly? I'm gonna say Carly, that's my whole boss. Yeah.
It is Carly. It is Carly. Yeah.
So she ran and he shot her. And then made sure that when he noticed they were the vials, he just started busting things. But you know how they strategic cuts, so we don't know exactly what happened with all those. But it just seems like he's always in the right place at the right time, and it is like
for sure, it's planning. Where
even in the first film, we're like, oh, what a coincidence. But okay, I can't even say that part. We're not there yet. Yeah.
Well, you were talking about the vials. You agree with me that you think he kept one.
Possibly, but his moral compass and where he is, he doesn't want anybody above anybody else when it comes to superpowers.
I agree.
So, and he's so strong, and his conviction is so strong. He's willing to kill anyone just to eliminate that whole idea. He to me personally seems like a Lex Luthor. Extremely intelligent and on top of the world. Has the money, the resources, and then once he sees a Superman, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like looking up at somebody. He has that same Luther. I was gonna say Luther Vandross
complex, but his reasons are also different because his whole village, everything he knew was destroyed. So his reasoning is probably a little different.
The reason's different, but he's still the way he's going about things is pretty much accurate.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's a scene with one of the guys from the Resistance and Carly near the grave. I think it was his grandfather's grave, where he's talking about him fighting in World War II. I kind of like looked it up too to think like, oh, maybe his grandfather's somebody because he said Lucas. So I'm like looking up Lucas. I only saw black guys. Yeah, one of them was actually one that fought with Isaiah though.
Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah. He was one of the test guys, so he had. Too. So I'm like, oh, maybe he's mixed.
Well, I found it interesting in that conversation where he said that we need a leader like you, somebody that's relatable to the people and stuff like that. When she's like you know, she's younger and stuff like that. I find it interesting that I found that very interesting that they entrusted her. You know, there's something about, you know, her moral compass that they you know, they trust, you know. I don't know.
And honestly, I didn't think they were gonna feel that way just because she blew up that building.
Yeah.
And everybody was kind of questioning her, like, why'd you do that? There's people in there and whatnot. So it kind of made it seem like she made a move that they were all gonna eventually hate her for down the road. Or she was gonna go off into some like crazy, like narcissistic tangent that separated her from the group.
Yeah. But he also say that he looked up to Captain America too, which is kind of a coincidence on how it ended, looking up at Captain America. Yeah. So that was pretty ironic.
Yeah. I mean, I actually didn't catch that, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is really sad. Because he was a good guy.
Oh, very exhausted.
That's why you gotta plug things in.
Oh no. Yeah.
Now it's dead. Now we're gonna have part 2. Okay, so we were in question prior if U.S. Agent actually picked up the serum, which we all know he was gonna get it because of his mentality and he was made to look like a fool. I did skim over that, sorry, because that fight scene was pretty awesome.
It was awesome. That was a good fight.
Wait, which one?
Which one?
Between the Dorja Milaje and
Oh, that one. Oh, yes. Oh my God.
They have no powers.
Yes.
I was laughing when I watched it because I already knew what was gonna happen. I knew it was an ass beating of his life because he needs to get put in his place, acting like he was the shit. Like, you have no jurisdiction over them. I knew I was waiting for it. That's gonna be the classic line. And then they just put the beating on him, but I didn't expect her to handle Bucky as easily as she did. I
literally had to replay that. I literally replayed that scene like 3 times because I like the first time I watched it, I was kind of like I was kind of moving around, and then I saw his arm fall off, so I had to replay it to see like what the heck did she do? This is crazy.
Yeah, because you saw his face. He stopped immediately. He was like,
what the that like
it's a
fail.
Even
know they could do that. Yeah.
Dude, that was intense.
Yeah, it was really cool. And the fact that they're so good with their weapons, that she threw the spear perfectly where he was still holding it. He only got the strap and like pinned it down, and he couldn't even pull it off.
Yeah.
Women are probably stronger than this dude too.
Oh, most definitely.
He was doing whatever he could because he thought it was life or death, and she just gradually, and then she did the thing where she caught the shield.
Yeah. I saw that where she stepped on it, they went up, but then they made him give it back, which I was like, why? You know the guy's a dick. Why give it the shield? But
you know why? Because he was easily disposable. They could get it whenever they wanted.
Whenever they want.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing I talked to you about last time. You know, why didn't they just, if they want Zemo so bad, then the prison obviously wasn't that hard. Why didn't they just go and grab him there? What's the big deal?
Oh, because they're civilized. They're like their society is supposed to be more structured and better, and they're holier than now, so they have a different mentality where it's like,
okay, but now since he's broken up and then it's fair game.
Yeah, like, okay, you guys can't seem to contain him, we'll take care of it. They're that confident in who they are. They have a certain level of hubris, which might be payback when they deal with, if they ever have Namor, because that's a hell of a fight, but that's something else. But that's what I love. I love their self-awareness and their like strength. They walk into a room and they command attention. Each and every one of them. I loved it. It was a beautiful scene.
Yeah. Well, you gotta remember too, if you remember from the Black Panther movie, I mean, 4 of them took on Killmonger with the suit on, and they held their own pretty much against him. So what the hell did John Walker gonna have to go against all 4 of them, let alone just one of them?
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, they fought a superpowered person who was
well, not even superpower, just the super suit.
Yeah.
Just
Killmonger.
Well, I guess you know you're right. Yeah, superpower because he took the herb. Yeah.
So yeah, he was yoked up. But so then what else? The serum.
I like his final words though. His final words in that scene, he did say, he was like, They weren't even superpowered.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They weren't even
Yeah, the moment he said
superpowered.
that, I knew he was gonna end up with the freaking
Yeah.
super soldier serum
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah, he was defeated because he already got spat on earlier.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's like, he already has that mindset where he lost all his power.
Yeah.
So he was trying to get it back. And
Yeah.
at that point, and then there's subtle, if you guys watch the whole thing, he has subtle ticks. That's why I think Wyatt is a really good actor. Because if you
Oh,
He
yeah.
is.
He
No,
is.
I think he
He's a
is doing
good
a good
actor.
job playing this character.
rewatch the whole thing and you'll gradually he has like gestures with his neck or like his hands, and like there's an unease in how he's doing what he's doing,
Yeah.
which is really, really cool.
Like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah. Which there's little if you looked at like the not the trailers but the end credits, they have a couple pictures, and one of them's a picture of a time bomb, and it has the star on it, like it's, he's about to go off. There's a cracked shield, and they did talk about that, like maybe it should be destroyed. Multiple characters in the show mentioned that. So he takes the serum. We don't know at first, but when he enters, first he enters the building, so he's like this, and it kind of reminds me of like the first Captain America when he
Yeah.
the whole Hydra stuff, which was kind of cool. But once like his fighting styles kind of changed, and he was starting to hold his own, it was a little fishy. But once once he reacted to the knife that went by, then I'm like, oh shit, okay, he took it.
He took it, yeah.
He had cat-like reflexes to go back.
I noticed it when he bent the pipe. That's when I noticed it.
Well, before we get there, can we talk about the scene where him and Battlestar are talking about whether they would take the serum or not?
Oh,
and then we even had the conversation between Sam and Falcon too, whether they would take the serum or not as well. And you could just tell the difference between exactly who the people are that are really there to do good jobs, and another one that is there that's just, okay, I'm kicking my ass kicked, I need to take something.
That's right.
But when Battlestar says, "Yeah, would you take it?" He said, "Yeah." Well,
hell yeah.
It's gonna show who you really are by having all this extra power. And you saw the two different points of views where I have 3 medals of honor, so I'm gonna be a fantastic person to take this serum because of this, that, and the other thing.
Well, he actually
kind of like,
he actually admitted that the way that he got those 3 stars was actually shady. He admitted it. Remember? Like he admitted in that conversation because Battlestar was like, "Oh, you got 3 stars," and he was like, "Yeah, but how I got those 3 stars?" So
he kind of justifies though, like, it was okay for me to do some shady shit because that saved however many people that day to a certain degree.
Yeah, and how many more? There was like, how many more would you have saved if I would have taken it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Falcons part though. Did you notice when Zemo, when they got him to agree that Captain America was actually good, and there is one?
Yeah.
It's like, but there's no more Captain America, or there's no one else like him. And then looked at the Falcon, and the Falcon looked up, like he had a weird expression. It's like either he heard a conversation when they're on the I think the plane when they're talking about Isaiah, or he was just maybe acknowledging the fact that he knows there's somebody else, because Hydra feared Isaiah. If Hydra fears Isaiah and Zemo knows everything about Hydra.
Zemo knows about Isaiah. I know he does,
but he doesn't know the whereabouts. So
he might.
It's either how you gonna get it when he's that hidden.
I mean, if Bucky knew where he was at, I don't see how Zemo doesn't know where he's at.
But Bucky's on the
government system, so it's kind of different.
So he could have accessed all that stuff when.
But I also think Zemo's smart enough too, if he really wanted to. If he really, really wanted to. But I think Zemo also, like, I don't know. I can't speak for him, but like Zemo might, like, he knows the guy's old. Like, what is he really gonna do? Like, just let him
He doesn't want that serum, but he knows that the serum was being made off of Isaiah's blood. So if he's old, he'll be easier to get more of that blood.
Yes.
So he's gonna have to dispose of him.
Yeah.
So maybe he's got that on the back burner or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's interesting.
Because I
But
think
no, I'm glad you brought that up, Ben, because I didn't really think of those differences until you just mentioned it. But that's a really that actually they put that together really well.
Because it was two conversations trying to justify the same thing. It's just one of them you could tell was like, oh yeah, I'll take the power because if I had it, then this I would have been able to prevent this. Where Sam was like, no, I'm not going to take it, even though I know I'll still be a good person and take it.
Let me ask you, Ben. Let me ask you, Ben. Would you take it?
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Heck yeah!
Oh yeah, I'll take it.
I was thinking that same thing. I would take it, and I don't have no plans. I don't want to hurt nobody, but I would take it. Hell yeah, I would take it.
use it for a different reason.
Yeah. No, you would use it for a different reason.
No, I've been wanting to be a vigilante my whole life.
Oh, you would actually try that career?
Hmm?
I wouldn't do it if I wouldn't try to be a vigilante. I would maybe do some UFC or something like.
Oh, yeah. First of all, that's cheating. Second of all, I wanna help people if I could.
I can help people with money and in my businesses that I create off the wealth. What? Hey, there's different ways of helping society, bro.
Remember, it only intensifies who you are as a human. So
Yeah, and I'm a good guy.
You would be like a booster gold. Like, look at me. Like you would
No
be.
way.
Yes,
I don't do that now, or else I'd be on social media. No, but I'm not on social media, so but obviously as somebody who thinks fast and all that. Huh?
Until then, you said you're not on social media. If you were in the WWE, that is beyond social media.
I know. I'm just thinking of different ways that I would like. I don't know quite yet how I would use it, but I wouldn't. I'm not trying to be no vigilante or whatever. I got I wouldn't try to do that. I would not try to do that because I don't think I could. Yeah. I don't know.
If you're not trying, if you're not attempting to help anybody, then you're just not.
I am, but I help people in different ways. Even now, how I help people, it's in different ways.
Hmm.
So like everybody has different ways of helping. You don't have to help physically. You can help in different ways.
Something that physically makes you more. You're a LeBron.
Okay, then why can't I just use that to be in the NBA right now, and then use my money? Why can't I use the money that I make off my NBA contracts and endorsements to freaking do good? How is that wrong?
Because you end up playing like Westbrook and be breaking people's arms as you drive to the basket.
No. Because I'll be able to control the different levels of my strength. I'll be able to say when I want to push it. Ben, what would you do? Ben's like, I would just take it and live my same life. What would you do, Ben?
I honestly really don't know what I would do, but I would definitely try to find a way to make a difference. That's for sure. But yeah, that'd be crazy, man. If you could just get a hold of something like that and see what actually happens.
Yeah. I hope if you're watching this video, when those that are watching, please tell me in the comments what you would do if you took that serum, and if you would take it, and if not, like why not? I don't know. I can't see why not.
Oh, that means I'd be super creative above this. Oh, I would make all kinds of crazy stuff. It'd be cool.
And how is your heart helping? How is your heart? I would ask the same thing. How is your art going to help?
Art, I could actually diagram and make whatever.
Exactly. So everybody has their different ways of helping. Is all I'm saying.
Everybody has a different way of helping.
Everybody has a different way. But anyway, let's go on. All right. I don't know. Obviously, the is not real. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah. All right. The final fight scene. Let's go to the final fight scene. Is that good? Can we go there?
Okay. I don't understand how Battlestar got taken so easily, let alone dragged away before he could even get up there to help him. It didn't even seem like he went up that many flights of stairs, and then all of a sudden John Walker's like running up like 2 or 3 flights of stairs and finding his gun.
To the next guy, 2 people. He was fighting a couple people, so it was either to snatch his ass real quick, but yeah, it was pretty far. It's like his gun went. He was quiet,
and then all of a sudden, yeah,
like real quick.
Yeah. Like I figured John Walker takes that serum, he's running up those flight of stairs in a matter of seconds. Seems like it took him forever to get up there.
But he was cautious at first.
Yeah. And he's probably getting used to his, maybe there's a getting used to it.
Yeah,
That
because
is
it gradually got stronger.
Well, one thing that I was really upset, and I have it on my notes, is and maybe they'll show it later, is I kind of wanted to see somebody take the serum. I wanted to see it because we've seen it in so many movies. We saw it in the Captain America. We see it in Wolverine. Like, and they said that this way of taking it is different. You're not going to see the bulky bodies, right? You don't need the whole process. So because they set it up so well about how this vial is different, I wanted to see it. Is it just like you're just shooting it up like steroids? Is it, I just wanted to see it.
I didn't understand whether he shot it up or he drank it, or I don't
know.
understand.
I don't know. So I would like to, and like, typically, when people take the vial, like there's sort of reaction, like maybe they'll for a day, their body has to adapt, to the chemicals in there and like, or something. There's nothing. We don't know anything. It was like just freaking drink some soda.
The doctor was explaining. The guy that
he explained how there's no big process. He perfected it. He said, or
it's easier. If it's easier, then you don't need to see anyone shoot steroids or drink it out of a glass.
It's just
the way.
I would have liked to see it.
You don't want to see any shot up like you're taking steroids. It's not gonna happen. It's steroids. They're not gonna show it. I'm actually. Well, we're almost there.
But no. But I that's all I'm saying. Like, if you didn't show, you didn't. I'm just saying. I think I would have preferred to see something.
Yeah,
is all I'm saying. But that fight scene, yeah, interesting.
Okay. Well, how did Sharon Carter track John Walker? That was the other thing I was kind of confused on. I don't understand. I mean, I can understand how she could track like Falcon because he has a suit on, or even Winter Soldier, maybe his arm or something. But I didn't understand how she was able to track John Walker with a satellite. It's not like he's wearing any type of tech or anything.
She's a minion. She does have the tech.
No, I'm saying him. He's not wearing like a suit or.
Well, actually, did she? Because I believe her words were, "Oh, somebody's there." I think it's John Walker. So maybe it's like a heat, one of those like maybe, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't like, it's John Walker. I think her words were like, somebody's here. I think it's John Walker, isn't it? Wasn't it? Like,
well, look.
Like, no.
That Falcon had a chip inside of Red Wing, right?
Yeah.
They're both wearing military suits. The government could easily put something to track him, either a part of the shield or in his suit.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
And then if you notice how structured the GRC was when they try to get, go get some of the flag smashers, I kind of feel like the power brokers are tied into all of that stuff. Maybe Sharon Carter lied and she's still with the government, but just a different portion of it, where she's just like a double agent kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where she's acting like she's on the run. Which that's how it kind of feels, because she's phoning in. She has all this info. She knows the whole layout of everywhere.
Well, I think they're trying to misdirect us into thinking that she is the power broker to a certain degree.
They can't.
But I don't think she is. But
I don't think so either. But she might be like close, like right hand woman or man.
Yeah.
I've heard things about like Zemo, them thinking it's Zemo, but I don't think it's Zemo either.
Yeah, I've heard of Zemo as well, but I don't think it's Zemo either.
But yeah, so just to wrap up the end of this, not wrap up because but after the death of Battlestar, you see him. We see him grieving.
Well, do you know he's dead?
Do
you think he's dead? You think he's dead?
I think he's dead.
He got hit and he flew like 15 feet and then hit a wall or a pillar, and the pillar kind of cracked.
But like, he doesn't have any superpower.
Yeah, but what kind of story? Yeah, what if he's concussed, like really bad, and then he's in a coma? What? How strong? How much stronger?
John Walker feels for a pulse. And he doesn't feel anything. That's when he snaps.
He's dead.
Well, as a paramedic, aren't there situations where people die for like a minute and then they come back?
Okay, I don't think Ben's dealt with someone getting hit in the middle of their chest and flying.
I'm just saying, like, how much more
overdose?
How much more stupid would John Walker feel if all of a sudden, okay, so now he's in the hospital, like in a coma, and then now, and now he just looks that much bad because he's actually not dead.
You're reaching.
Nah, bro, that's less of a reach. I don't know.
I think he's
You'll see
dead.
it next episode. You'll see him in the hospital. Next episode, Kaiser Permanente Children's Hospital.
And
You'll see it. You'll see him in the McDonald's house of whatever is it called, McDonald's house of helpers or whatever.
the Playhouse, in the McDonald's Playhouse.
Ronald McDonald House of Charity.
Yeah, House of Charity. You'll see him in the McDonald's House of Charity, and then you gotta feel so stupid, and I'll be like, dude, told you.
He's dead. He's gone.
I hate your predictions so much. They're always so bad.
Wait
They're
for
always
it.
so bad. Ben always had
Hey,
good ones.
he can have his prediction. We'll see what happens next week. I think I'm with you, Trevor. I think he's kicked the bucket, but
That dude died before he hit the pillar. 100% sure. Stopped immediately. But okay, so then John Walker flips out and he wants to get him, and they have like a scene that kind of resembles something that Cap's done before, where he kind of jumps out the window and then he does the heroes,
landing. Yeah.
whatever. Which this is the first time in a long time where the supposed hero is doing a hero landing and he's not a hero anymore, because we know he's out for blood. So he tracks down the one who was actually who had a love for Cap when he was younger.
Yeah.
And then he even says, it wasn't me. And he's still just like, ah. And it's cool because it's a scene just like, what is it, Civil War, where Cap does that to Iron Man and hits him in the chest just to break the reactor to stop Iron Man from doing anything else, which is kind of cool that he did that. But he shows how he's just over the edge and he's gone. He's so far gone that he's like, no, I'm out for blood. And he just repeatedly do it, which surprised me.
Yeah.
Which is funny. I thought he would kill him on the first blow or like keep it simple. But you could see it's like the guy probably died already and he's just repeatedly doing it to make it more savage and show.
That's what I was gonna say. He probably did that on the first one, but he just kept fucking going at his neck. And then
it still, I was like, oh man, but it didn't hit me until we started looking around at all the cameras. But then they have that iconic shot, and there's blood at the bottom of that.
Blood at the bottom. Yeah.
Like, oh shit! And that's when I'm like, yeah, it's gonna get like. I hate that. I knew they were gonna cut then because it seems like a perfect time to cut.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
I have to wait a week now.
Yeah.
Would it have been good if they kind of pan out and you kind of see his head roll down the step if someone's taking a picture? Or
okay, that would be awesome and too gory.
I know.
Just having blood alone for Disney or Marvel is crazy. They didn't even.
I say more Disney than Marvel.
Yeah, but they didn't even do it for anything outside of Wolverine's rated R movie. Prior to that, Wolverine was shanking everybody. There was never blood on his I was gonna say on his shanks, on his claws. So it was just baffling that like the most pure character, the like everyone's eyes, like he would never do anything to hurt anybody. He's the one who got his hands bloody. He's supposed to represent the good in all of us, not just America, in all of us. He is the equivalent of Superman.
Yeah.
And they dirtied it so much where I could see extreme backlash, and the extremists, it's gonna be torn now. It's not gonna be like everybody's gonna be good. It's gonna be more people joining on the Flag Smashers side.
Almost definitely. Yeah.
What government is. So we're gonna see more villains created because of this man.
I think I thought it was interesting because I think how much harder is it now going to be for Sam to take up that shield, because now you're taking it with that baggage. You know what I mean? When he does take it in, it not only not only is he an African American, but you're carrying that weight of the perception that people already hate it. So I think it's that much harder. However, as soon as I saw that, I was like, man, it's going to be that much harder for him to be able to be able to carry that. I don't know.
Well, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right on that. I was thinking they're gonna have to kill this dude.
Oh,
he's way too strong and unstable.
Yeah,
and I don't know who's getting to him because Battlestar was his harness to reality.
Yeah.
Like he was the one in his ear. He was a Jiminy Cricket telling him like, you shouldn't do this, you should do that. Oh, maybe you should listen to him. And he was able to calm him a little bit. But now he
Yeah.
has nothing to anchor him to this earth. So he might be wild. He might relinquish the title and just go rogue.
Oh, I think he will. But my question would be is like, okay, so even if he doesn't relinquish it himself, for sure the government's going to take it away. Who is he going to go after?
No, the government can't take it away. Who's gonna get him?
Well,
he might break down so much. He might just like give it away. If they don't come after him, if like Bucky and Falcon don't come after him, he might be so broken that he might is like, I don't deserve this. I need to get out of here. I'm gonna go find the people who killed my friend, type of deal.
oh, so that's what I mean. That's what I mean. So you think when he does go rogue, his focus, his enemy is still going to be Flag Smashers? Like that's his main. That's going to be his main.
But no rules.
Yeah, no.
Harsh, violent, but he might be a straight vigilante. And I think in the comics too, he jumped from like I was gonna say superstar, a name to Captain America to U.S. agent when he kind of like semi started doing his own thing. But I don't know. He has that vibe because he's a loose cannon.
Yeah.
But he wants to do good, but he just can't do good.
And now he's never going to be able to because now his personality is true personalities out there.
And he's aware of himself, and he's so broken. He, like I said, he might just be like when he sees the blood on the shield, it might remind him of Battlestar 2. He might break down. I don't know. He's a loose cannon. But it's gonna be good on the next episode.
What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I think he goes rogue and goes after every Flag Smasher out there and tries to kill every single one of them.
Yeah,
and tries to justify he's bringing him to justice. In a way, I think he's still going to be in that warped reality, even though Battlestar's kind of is gone. But he's going to be thinking to himself, he's still doing the right thing when he's not doing the right thing. Just because kind of how his mentality is. Plus, he took the serum, so it's enhancing that personality even more now.
For sure.
Just like they've been talking about the entire season, this whole series so far.
Yeah. What did you guys think? Because we also didn't talk over the part where the conversation with Sam and Carly. I thought that was really good. Like he was actually getting to to the heart of her. And I thought he would man. And I knew it was gonna happen. I knew freaking Walker was gonna destroy it all. But I was like, dude, he's actually really getting through to her, and it really shines on the fact that, like, I don't say reverse psychology, but he got her to see the error of her ways by her admitting it herself.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean, I thought it was very, very clever of him because he is a psychologist and all that. So I don't know. I really like that conversation.
101, find a flaw in an argument and then you can take advantage of that flaw.
Yeah, so I just think it sucks. So, but I think there is going to be some sort of sympathy there. So if John Walker does like go crazy after the Flag Smashers, there might be a few scenes where Sam might step in the way and something maybe.
Sam, both of them. They're going to fight him. They have to fight him. Because
But I'm saying I think they're going to be united in some way, like an enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing. I think they might now have that together, maybe. Because she even said later, she's like, or even in that same conversation, she was when she threatened Sam's sister, she's like, I don't want to kill you. You're ancillary. It would be pointless. She said, either join me or let me go because I'm doing the greater good or something like that. So I think, I don't know. I think there might be some enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing.
Okay, so now we have to get to the nitty gritty. The guesstimation. Who do you think this power broker is? Because there's been a couple writers speak on it, which kind of let people know who it could be, or like who it could possibly be. Because there's a power broker thing, and there's also this special guest. Do you think it's one and the same as well? It's a two-part question. One and the same, or is it two different? Because obviously me, I hope it's two different people, not just the power broker, but it might just be the power broker. So who do you two think, before I say who I kind of think it is, who do you two think this power broker is?
Do you want to go first, Chris, or you want me to go?
No, you can go first.
Okay. Okay, I'll give you both of my guesses of what that question is. I honestly think it's going to be the same person. The power broker and this secret character are going to be the same one, but I am holding on hope that it is, like you said, separate, or it's the power broker plus the guest, the special whatever guest appearance in. But honestly, I think the power broker is going to be Ross.
Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, General Ross. I think that's who the power broker is going to end up being, just because I can see how he could have that connection with Sharon Carter, and they could kind of be working together. Plus the whole super soldier serum, and technically he still has the Abomination super soldier serum to a certain degree.
He does.
That's where I'm kind of leaning, because I think Zemo's too easy. I think Sharon Carter's too easy. And if the special guest person is Thunderbolt Ross, then so be it. But I kind of think Hawkeye is going to be the special. I think Jeremy Renner's going to make a special appearance out of this one. And just hear me out, because when we first talked about before the series started, and I was kind of explaining who John Walker was, and John Walker and Hawkeye kind of had the falling out and fight over who's going to be in control of the West Coast Avengers, and blah blah blah. And I told you Hawkeye ended up going off and being the leader of the Great Lakes Avengers or whatever. But I think they're going to bring Hawkeye in, because they also have the Hawkeye series coming up after I believe it's after the Loki series. He's getting his, or it's 2 down the road. But I think they're going to try to make a connection there. And if the Captain America right now, John Walker, survives all of this and doesn't die, he may be the main antagonist for this Hawkeye series. Yeah, I can kind of see how maybe they might bridge this together. So that's what I'm hoping. That's my super long shot.
That would be interesting. That's an interesting assumption, because they didn't so if they're going to start merging worlds, they didn't do that with WandaVision. Like, these worlds are completely detached.
You're right.
These worlds are completely detached. So
yeah, I'm shooting a long shot out here. This is me picking the freaking Kansas City Royals to win the World Series this year. It's all right. It's all right. I'm just, you want my guess? That's my guess. But I think the Thunderbolt Ross one could be pretty spot on there, and end up being the both of them anyway.
Well, I'm really surprised, because you're way more analytical and all that, and have way more knowledge than I do. But that was going to be the reason I didn't want to talk first, because I thought that was just too easy. That's why I didn't say it, because I do think it's Thunderbolt Ross as a special guest and the power broker. But I feel like that wasn't such a creative thing to say. So I was like, oh, Ben will say something better. And he said the same thing. So, well, no, he said different. He said Hawkeye. But I said
Hawkeye, yeah.
But you said Hawkeye is a special guest, but Thunderbolt Ross is going to be the power broker. I think it's going to be one and the same, Thunderbolt Ross, maybe. But I don't know. What's your assumption, Trev?
Okay, so some of the writers have been talking, and they said it was a grounded character, but they also said someone who would work well with Thor.
Like Hawkeye. Hawkeye's a grounded character, and he's worked with Thor.
No, but
as he took a sip, argument one for Ben.
not really, because they also said it's reinvented, a reinvented character. So if you're gonna reinvent a character that it kind of existed before, but like bring it to its fruition, there's only a certain amount of characters you can pull from, especially if you're gonna have someone.
Say that again. Reinvented in what way?
That's how they put it. Reinvented. So if it's someone who could work well with Thor, it has to be someone who's eventually good and not a bad. Because there's a few bad ones. Armanzola. Who would I write down? The leader. There's a random Demolition Man that's involved. So we might see a hint of someone who has Demolition Man-esque. Remember the one I told you who kind of looked like Wolverine, who had a D on his chest? When I had a kid, I had the comic. I didn't know what the hell it was. I'm like, this isn't Wolverine. But anyways, I started thinking about and I wrote down a few possibilities. There's only two that I know they brought up before in previous movies, but didn't do anything to capitalize on them. One of them being, and this isn't my choice, but I just have to bring it up because it wasn't brought up, is Captain Britain. That he exists in the world, but they never elaborated on him because he was brought up during, when Cap and Iron Man, Tony Stark went back and they were looking for the Tesseract back in the days when he ran into it.
Tesseract.
But the one that I think it is, and it has to because it fits into all aspects, is Simon Williams. It doesn't necessarily have to be him, but it could be his father. Because don't turn your head like they were talking about. Every time someone turns their head, they're evil stuff.
I like that. And then Zemo went.
Okay, because Masters of Evil was created by Zemo, so he's tied to that, and Zemo is the one who created Wonder Man.